also a collective agreement. The first collective agreement in a apparel factory in a free trade zone in Sri Lanka was signed in 2021 between Next and the Free Trade Zone and General Workers Union. The company points out that the collective agreement has now lapsed because it was effective from 2021 to 2023, but it was not renewed for whatever reason. We don't know. So that collective agreement is no longer in operation, but there were principles that both sides had agreed on. That all decisions will be made by, negotiations will be by mutual respect, timely communication, and based on trust. So it's difficult to understand if the company management did not give notice to either the workers or the union, which they were not bound to do because there was no collective agreement. Did all these principles go out the window the moment the collective agreement lapsed? Do you not then have mutual trust and respect and communication, timely communication then? And considering the huge reputational loss Next has suffered now, because the Clean Clothes campaign, the ETI, everybody is now looking at this particular closure, even though they say they are not in violation of any law, begs the question, what were they thinking would happen in terms of their obligations towards the ethical trading initiative they have in partners for I think from 1996, and they have whole paragraphs in the annual report on how they assure compliance with supply chain due diligence responsibilities both in the EU and the UK and the UK laws and all that. So in that context, are you okay with being not in breach of the letter of the law, but what about the spirit of the law? So that is, I think, something that they are going to have to think, because clearly a union connection will be drawn because the other two factories have not closed down. So if the position is being taken that this factory was suffering losses, then comes the question of how are you set up in such a way that the losses can be localized to this particular factory and not to the other two. It may be possible. I don't know the legal ramifications of their structure. They may be set up as separate business units. But the union connection is now unavoidable because this was the only factory where there was a collective agreement, which has lapsed, no doubt. But you had espoused principles of, negotiating with the union in the case of a redundancy situation. They would negotiate strictly on the basis of first come, first to go, last come, first to go, that kind of situation. So do those principles sort of stop being applicable the moment the collective agreement lapses? And what about the goodwill you built up with the union, and was this the approach to it? So that's us trying to second guess managerial decisions which we are not equipped to do, and which is not fair because Next is not represented here. But outwardly, the union connection is unavoidable.